Hi, Sarah Pacaro, rapid transformational therapist, and I love working with you guys, with clients, with people to help go within and heal after having been in toxic, unhealthy relationships. It's just a really nice way to say maybe you've been with a narcissist. And the journey that I take other people on is the journey that I went on to go within and heal and really break free, learn to be happy, and love your life again. So, the last 2 days we've talked about behaviors of toxic and unhealthy people, behaviors of narcissists, and oh my gosh, there are so many, so we're going to go over some more today. Well, you will notice that one of their behaviors is that they demand trust, but they don't earn it. So they demand trust that isn't earned. Like, how is it that somebody does this? Well, they expect trust from their victims or their supply when they have either abused that trust in the past or they have yet to show that they even deserve it in the first place. But they sure demand it. The next thing you'll notice is that they're thieves. They are just thieves. Thieves steal everything. They steal what they want because this sense of entitlement that the world owes them. And they have no guilt about stealing hearts, about stealing money, about stealing friends, about stealing your career. They don't care about stealing. The money and the items that were stolen are actually not important. What it feels like, though, is that they steal your soul. They steal your confidence. They steal your self-worth. They steal your belief in yourself. That's the sad thing, because that is what is more difficult to get back than whether they stole money. Money comes and goes. Whether it's possession, material things, those always come and go. But a part of you tremendously breaks when they steal your soul, they steal your confidence, they steal your self-worth, because those are the things that even after the relationship's over, you carry into the next relationship, and you carry into every aspect and part of your life. So by the time that the narcissist presents themselves as a loving person, maybe they steal your time. Hey, time's the one thing that you don't ever get back. Ever. You can get money back, you can get a lot of things back, but you don't get your time back. And most people, if you've been with a narcissist or a toxic person for a long time, you have this sense of guilt because you gave so much of your time, you gave so much of your life to them. How could you do that? Because it was never reciprocated. Why did you stay around for so long when you knew they were like stealing all this stuff from you? So that is one of the behaviors of narcissists or toxic and unhealthy people, is that they are thieves. They don't care, they don't acknowledge or appreciate that you gave them all the things that you did, but actually the things that they stole from you. Because one of the next behaviors is that their way is the only way. It's my way or the highway, and it is so inflexible. It's black and it's white, and they demand that things be done a certain way, even if that way is incorrect. Doesn't matter. I said it needs to be done this way, and you're thinking, but that's not really logical. How could you think that? And it doesn't matter. It needs to be done my way. It's black or it's white. And they'll demand that it is be done their way because their way is the only way. And you'll notice another behavior is this pathological, chronic lying. Lying about lying. Like on the low end of the lying spectrum, they can be dishonest, they can be cunning, they can be kind of sly and clever. They're very resourceful in creating lies, even on the fly. I had an experience of this when I picked up my daughter, and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? Do you hear yourself? But they don't. It's just they're pathological, chronicle liars. And like, I put everything, put my daughter's life on the fact that that didn't happen. But they will stand in the truth, their truth, that it did happen. So on the other end is that they attack the core your core victim, your insecurities, your core insecurities, and they take this and they start about lying about themselves, and they move to lying about their exes, they move to lying about their jobs, they lie about their accomplishments, they lie about their achievements, they lie about everything, and they lie about their feelings for you in order to hook you into bonding with them very quickly. In the beginning, in the love bombing phase, they lie about all this stuff. You don't know that though, because naturally you're probably a very loving, caring, empathetic person who sees the good in everybody. And in seeing the good in everybody, you believe that their words are truthful. And you believe this. Their words are not truthful. They're pathological, chronicle liars. And then in the end, after the discard and the narcissistic smear campaign, they lie about you. They say how crazy you are, how you are just all the things that you've done. They make up this crap that you've done to them, which keeps them in the victim role. They lie about it to people that knew the both of you. They lie about it to your family, to your friends, to anyone that will listen. They may contact your boss at work and lie about who you are to try to get you fired. They lie, lie, lie. So, if their lips are moving, they're most likely lying. It's kind of like, your lips are moving. Tell me, do you think I lie? Yeah, I do. I think you lie all the time. Because you do. So, how do you know if narcissists are lying? Because their lips are moving. Fun little joke, but some truth in there. Then you will notice another behavior is that they manage down expectations. They purposely perform at a lower level than they are capable of in order to create these low standards of expectations for their victims. They do it all the time. I had an experience with this where we were going to get new flooring for the house. It took about 2.5 years, and guess who did part of it but didn't finish the rest of it? They lower their expectations. When the work was done on it, it got done so quickly, so efficiently, so easily. And then there were lies about when it was going to be done again. Like stupid little lies to the point where I had to pay a lot of money out of pocket to get someone to come in and finish the work. And then, of course, I got the brunt end of that stick because I told you I was going to finish it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, but you were lying. You said you were going to finish it last weekend and last month and da 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 da. But then, of course, it's my fault. No. So, know that that's a behavior of theirs, that they manage down expectations, and they do this so that you have a low standard of them, so you don't expect anything from them, so that they don't have to be responsible for anything. Then you'll notice another behavior of narcissists is word salad. We've talked about this before. When the conversation with them is circular and it goes around and around and around, and a circle has no beginning, no end, just like a conversation with them. No beginning, no end. And it is a diversion tactic to bring irrelevant facts and meaningless logic to confuse the victim. It's part of the gaslighting. Think of it as like a blender. You put all these words in a blender and you hit the blender, it turns on, and these words fly out because there's no top on the blender, and you're going, what? What are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense. So these words that are blended up, kind of like a salad that you toss, are evasions, they're diversions, they're vague comments. They are designed to keep the conversation very confusing, to keep you going, what? That doesn't even make sense. And keep you going, why doesn't it make sense? And then, of course, they're like, oh, no, that's your fault. You didn't hear me right, blah, blah, blah. It's a manipulation tactic to get you into just giving up. Fine, I'll do it, whatever, and to get you to just walk away, let them off the hook. It's this technique called double speak, and it creates verbal traps, and you'll notice you constantly feel like you're trapped by this person, by their words, this word salad. It leads to impossible, unreasonable conversations. Like you can't have a reasonable conversation with them because of this behavior, this word salad behavior. You've been with the one, you know what I'm talking about. You just want to ram your head through the wall. So the next behavior that you'll notice with them is they are emotionally dependent. They pretend they are so strong, so capable, but they often need, actually always need, affirmations and praise. They need this supply. They are emotionally dependent on others to feed their little tiny shriveling egos. But you think, oh my God, they're so strong, and you think their egos are so big, and you think that they're the best thing ever because they present themselves as the best thing ever. Their egos are about this big, and they are very emotionally dependent. That's why they need all forces and storms of supply, is because they need this affirmation, they need this praise, and they are emotionally dependent on others to get that. Then you'll notice they are excitement junkies. You get a high, you get a hit of dopamine every time you post something and it gets a like or it gets a comment, or every time you share a story and people are like, oh my God. Narcissists have a need for constant stimulation, and they get bored very quickly. So you will notice they are always pushing the limits in everything they do. They're trying to see exactly what they can get away with. They have multiple partners. They're juggling multiple relationships at the same time. They're an addiction to drugs or an addiction to alcohol. They're taking risks maybe in their job or like into sports. They're often horrible, terrible drivers because they love the excitement. I've been with narcissists before. I thought I was gonna freaking die. Like when they were driving on the road and you pull the fuck car over. I don't know if I can say that on here, but they are very, very impulsive, extremely childlike. These characteristics of bring excitement into their lives. Once they have accomplished that one thing, they get bored quickly and they move on to the next risky challenge. So you'll notice that you get pulled into that, trying to save them or calm them down or not get them to do that. But that's a behavior of a narcissist. They're excitement junkies. Another one is that you'll notice that they use guilt and they use pity ploys. They guilt everyone into getting what they want. They act pathetic to gain sympathy. So they're acting like little babies, little toddlers, so that you're like, come on, like it's not that bad. You're this and you're that. But that's a guilt technique. That's a pity ploy. And one of their very common behaviors, and it leads to, you'll notice, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. High, this multiple personalities that they have. This is kind of the inside face and the outside face. They start out so charming, so kind, so giving, so loving in the beginning, in the love bombing phase. But like everything does in time, it settles down and settles in. And then they get moved off this high pedestal just as life kind of settles in, as every relationship does and life does, and then gets back to normal. And then they lose interest. When they lose interest, then you go into the devaluation phase. They become another person. Most people don't get to see the evil side. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Depends on the relationship. But most people don't get to see the evil side until they have decided that you are no longer needed, that they move to the discard phase. Then the fangs come out and they start to attack you in unimaginable ways. Often they will go into horrible, horrible rages, the narcissistic rage. And then the next day, nothing happened. What's wrong with you? Why are you so pissed off? Why are you so bitchy? What's up? They act like nothing happened. And you're like, are you kidding me? Were you not there yesterday? You see what you did? What you said to me? And they go in these horrible rages, and the next day, nothing happened. And this is really confusing for the victims, because the victims, they start to think that they're the ones going crazy. How is it that they just moved on? Act like nothing happened. Maybe nothing did happen. Maybe it wasn't that big of a deal. And it leads to them denying that nothing happened, and you really starting to question and believe if it was really that bad. Okay, yes, it was and is that bad. Even if the narcissist denies it and says that nothing happened and they accuse you of being crazy, you're not crazy. It becomes this push-pull behavior, and this is part of trauma bonding. This push-pull behavior is what leads to the trauma bonding in the victim, which is why it's so hard to recognize and get out. But that's why I share this information with you guys, because it's so important to recognize and get out. And then you'll notice that one of their other behaviors is this excessive emotional display, these outbursts, this rage of inappropriate emotions at inappropriate times. And they do this around very important, significant events, whether it's a holiday or a birthday or a special occasion. They'll seem to be fine, and all of a sudden, outbursts of rage, and you're like, are you kidding me? It is our kid's birthday. How the hell are you doing this right now? That's the time when they do it the most. It's part of their behaviors. So grooming is another part of the behavior. Grooming is a predatory act of maneuvering. What it is, they maneuver the victim into a position that makes them more dependent on them. So they groom the victim into this position, makes you more dependent on them. A lot of times you see this when it comes to finances. They groom you and they say, oh honey, oh babe, I got you, I'll take care of you, I don't want you to work, you stay at home with the kids, I love you enough that I will support you. Really, they're doing this so that you become more dependent on them. They take you away from your family, your friends, your jobs. They're grooming you to need them more so they can continue the abuse. You become a lot more likely to trust them. You feel more vulnerable to this abusive behavior. You feel like it's you're the one with the problem. And the idolization is when the narcissist sweeps the victim off of their feet while programming this behavior. It's called Cinderella complex. And the reaction is to test the water to see how much abuse the victim will tolerate before determining how the abuse proceeds. So grooming is very scary, very dangerous, and very real, and they're doing it from the beginning, from day one. And they do it with subtle digs. They groom you with these subtle digs mixed with kindness. The breadcrumbing is what it's called. The narcissist trains you to accept the abuse and ignore your intuition. This is how you get sucked in. It's extremely damaging. So, I think for today we're going to stop there. I don't want these videos to be too long, so tomorrow I'll share with you some more behaviors, but I hope, like I always say, that this helps you realize what you're going through. And if you are, first of all, awareness. Second of all, get out. Third of all, work on healing yourself from within. That's where I come in. The third of all, if you're ready for that, please reach out. It is so important so that you don't continue to repeat the cycle. Even if you're out of the relationship, you'll notice that craziness is still going on inside your head. Their critical voice becomes your inner voice. Gotta break that, you guys, if you want to be happy and heal. So if you need help breaking that, please let me know. Reach out. We'll connect. So thank you guys. I love you. I care about you. You do matter. You do belong. You're here for a reason. Please know that. And like I said, like, love, share, and I hope this helps you. Reach out and connect if you're there.